Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to send emails from a Python script. Now, this is actually extremely simple. It's not going to take us very long, but I'm just going to be showing you very basic emails. So just like plain text emails with a subject and a message line. If you want some more advanced emails with like HTML and like making them look nice, I can do that, but I need you guys to let me know in the comments down below. So anyways, let's get started. So this function you guys aren't going to need, but I'm just using it to read in my email and password from a text file so that you guys can't see it. But obviously on your own computer, you can just type out your username and password or your email and password when we get to that point. I'm also importing SMTP lib and SSL. This is what we're going to do to connect to the server so we can actually send the email. So our first step is going to be to define our username, password, and then who we're going to send the email to. So I'm going to say sender password is equal to read creds. Now read creds simply returns to me obviously my username and the password. Now you guys can just type out like sender equals and then just put your Gmail address here, and then password is going to be the password to that Gmail account. Now I don't know how this works with two-factor authentication, but if you're running into an issue with credentials, it might be because your email account's two-factor authenticated and you can't connect to it from here. So in that case, I would say maybe just create like a new email account that you want to send it from, or disable the two-factor authentication, at least for this example. Okay, so now we're just going to define receive, and this will be equal to the email that you want to send it to. Now in my instance, I'm just going to actually send it to myself, so to the sender, so that I don't have to bother going into a new email account. But for you guys, you can literally just type any Gmail account or whatever other account you want in here, and it should work as long as it's a valid address. Okay, so our next thing is to define our message, and this is what is obviously we're going to be sending to the person. So we're just going to do a multi-line string here. And I'm just going to do this to define that we're going to the next line, and we're going to do subject colon and then whatever you want the subject to be. So I'm just going to say Python email tutorial, and then in the main line, so this is actually going to show up as the subject line for us, this, and then down here will be the message content. So I'll just say this is from Python exclamation point, and we'll just say tech with Tim as like the little goodbye message or whatever. Okay, so we have that. So we have our sender, receiver, message. What else do we need? We need to define a variable now called context, and what this is going to be is ssl.create underscore default underscore context, and we're going to use this in a second. You'll see why. I'll explain. Let me just move up here. And then down here, what we're going to do is we're going to actually connect to the server and send the email. And we're almost actually done. This is super fast. So we'll just say with, and then lib.smtp, my bad guys, underscore SSL. And then in here, we're going to put our actual email server. So in this case, I'm using Gmail, and I assume most of you will probably be using Gmail, but if you're using like Hotmail, you're going to have to find where that server is to put in here. But I believe it's just smtp.gmail.com. So this is the email server we're going to connect to and send emails from. Now, I don't know if you can use this with, other emails that aren't Gmail, if that's your sender email, but if you try it and it doesn't work, then you'll have to find whatever this kind of SMTP thing for like Hotmail or Outlook or whatever it is email that you have. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to say port and then context equals context. And this reminds me, actually up at the top here, we got to define port now. So I'm just going to say port is equal to 456, and this is just the standard port for SSL. If this for some reason doesn't work, then that probably means that your router is blocking the connection to SSL. And in that case, there's not really much you can do. You can try to find another port on your router that accepts SSL or that's empty maybe. But for now, that's all I know is 456. So it works for me, so we'll see if it works for you guys. Okay, so after that, we've kind of connected now. We'll just say this is as server. And sorry, one second. We're going to say server.login. So just simply logging into our credentials. So to log in here, I'm just going to say sender and then password. And then we're going to say server.send email. And then we're simply just going to put our sender, which is who's sending the email, our receiver, which is who's going to receive the email, and then the message, which is message. And that should be about it. I'm just going to add some print statements in here quickly so we get a little bit of output to our console saying starting to send. And then at the end here, I'll just say print sent email. Just so we know, if something hangs here and we run into an issue, or if it's taking a long time to send the email. So yeah, that's pretty much all we do. Port 465, we'll just get your username and password. Again, this is going to be like your sender is going to be your Gmail account. So the exact address, and then password is going to be whatever the password is for that. Receive, this is any email that you want to send it to. Message, this is what you're going to be sending. Context, we just need this to create a new SSL thing. I'm not going to explain exactly what that does. And then we're just going to open up a connection to the email server, log in with our credentials, and simply send an email. So let's run this now and see what happens. No such file or directory, credentials.txt. Okay, so give me 1 second while I create that directory, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I just realized I made a really small mistake, and essentially my file was just in the wrong directory, but I also tried to run it and realized that we have 2 issues that I need to fix. The first one here is down here. This originally said passw. I just had to change this to password, so just add that ORD there because I forgot that I named this password. And then here where it says send email, we're just going to make this send mail. I don't know why I added that either, but anyways, that should be working now. So if I run this, we see starting to send and then sent email. That's great. It's showing us this output, but let me prove to you that it actually did send that by opening up the email address here. So you can see right now it's actually, well, I mean, you guys can't really see the time, but it is 8:14 a.m. and you can see that we've just received an email that says test send email. This is just whatever the email I'm using. This is from Python, and then it signs it with Tech with Tim. And if I go to my sent mail, you can see that it was sent from this address and received here as well. So that is essentially how you send an email with Python. Really straightforward, really basic. If you guys have any questions or anything's not working, please let me know in the description below. And with that being said, I will see you again in a new video.